Dunkles Bock, also known as traditional Bock, was first brewed in the 14th century in the German town of Einbeck. 300 years later, it was adopted by Munich brewers, and today, I'm going to brew one up. What? It's Halloween.
Dismantled and lost it. The summer winds came with your voice so soft, and the ocean moved. When I first saw you, I swear the ocean moved.
Hi, I'm Martin Keane. I'm taking the Homebrew Challenge to brew 99 different beer styles, and today it's Dunkles Bock.
Slowed it down, say, don't go. I wanted you was so surprising. You looked back and said, I know. So where we're going.
Dark, strong and malty is what we're going for. You can think of this beer either as a strong Marzen or a light Doppelbock. So how do we get there? Well, typically you'll brew this beer with either Vienna or Munich malts primarily. I'm going to use Munich. So I have here 10 pounds of light Munich malt, which is going to be my base malt. And then in addition to that, I have right here 3 pounds of floor malted Bohemian Pilsner. So that'll make up my base malts. Now to add that sort of maltiness that I really want to get from this, I am throwing in a little bit of Caramunich III. So I have here 12 ounces of Caramunich III. And then to get to the colour that I want, this is a dark beer, I'm just going to add a touch of Carafa Special II. So I'm just putting in 2 ounces of that. So the vital statistics, I'm going for an original gravity of 1067. Yeah, quite a big beer. That should get me a 7% ABV. And then for colour, I'm looking at an SRM of about 18. So yeah, it's dark, strong and malty. So I've been making a few updates to my brewery down here in my basement. Let me show you what's going on. So this is the unfinished basement in my house. Originally this was just a room chock full of like lawn mowers and garden tools and like boxes of junk. And over time I've sort of taken more and more ownership of it. So originally it started out just as my brewery, but now I've kind of taken over the whole space. So in addition to being the place where I brew beer, this is also my home office where I work when I'm working from home. It's also my gym. I've got a little bit of weight and aerobic equipment in here. And it's also my video studio. So this is where I shoot the beer tastings here. And honestly, this has now become the most used room in the house for me. I spend way more time here than anywhere else, and that includes sleeping in my bed. So specifically what's new? Well, I added these new metal shelves here. Originally I had everything on one plastic shelf, and I just needed more room to spread out. So now I've got everything very accessible, and these can hold a bit more weight than those plastic ones I was using. I've now got an extra chest freezer down here as well, which brings my total to 3 chest freezers that I'm using for fermentation. Each one of these is temperature controlled, and having 3 is great. I can fit 2 of the SS Brewtech brew buckets in each one of these, but of course I can only set 1 temperature, and as I'm brewing pretty much every week, the beers need to be at different temperatures. So having 3 different fermentation chambers has been great. Now I'm pretty stoked with this video setup as well. I've got lights all around me. I've got this microphone here which I can pull up and down so that it's in the right spot when I need it. I can push it up when I don't. And then I've got this TV in front of me where I can actually see myself. hang on. So as I sit here looking at my camera, you can see on my phone here, this is what I see in front of me. I get to see the screen and check that the shots all set up nicely. So these are all like nice little touches which just make shooting just a little bit easier. Yeah, so that's really what's new. What do you think I should add next? I'm thinking maybe a dedicated stand for this grain mill. As you might expect, there's not a lot going on with hops with this beer, just bittering hops. I'm using Perle hops. I have 1 ounce of Perle hops, which I'll put in the boil at 60 minutes, trying to get to an IBU of about 22. The gravity for this one ended up just a couple of points over. I got to 1070. So the yeast is my old friend WLP 830. This is German lager yeast. Okay, tasting time. Roy, you've come back for another one?
I have.
So last time you had a light colour beer, so I thought it'd be interesting to have a bit of a darker one. The notes on this guy, this came in at 1017, so this is a 7% beer. So this is a bit stronger than the beer you had before.
It'll be interesting.
It will be, yeah. So first of all, let's take a look at the colour. Now the style guidelines say that you can go anywhere here from sort of a light copper through to a really quite dark brown.
Well, that's a really dark brown, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely on the brown side rather than the copper side.
Even the top looks a bit coloured.
Yeah, even the head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we shouldn't get any sort of hop aroma, and I'm not getting any hops, but maybe sort of a bready, malty, sort of toasty smell is what you'd expect with this sort of style.
I'm interested in to try. Can we try?
All right, let's try it.
It's a bit stronger than what I'm used to.
Yes.
But it's nice.
It is a bit of a meal in a glass. It's quite a heavy drink, isn't it, compared to a light lager. But I think for it's December here now, and I think that for this sort of cold weather, this is a really nice option.
That's my first strong beer.
Yeah, that is a strong one. At 7%, that's a lot stronger than before. But it's really a sipping beer.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
You sip it?
When it's...
Oh, it's meant to last you go to a pub and you sit there for hours drinking it.
If you knock these back, then you would be like having to be carted out of the pub.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've got to work on my technique.